Uh-oh. There we go. Oh my gosh. This thing. All right, folks, we're about. Greetings to all. My name is Brother J. Crum Bay, Divine Minister in the Moore Science Temple of America, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you out to this exciting episode of the All CNI. I also have our co-host.
I'm Sister Imana Moore Eo, and I am a Shikhasin Divine Minister in the Moore Science Temple of America.
Thank you, my sister. So glad to have her on the panel finally at long last. The sister has been so busy saving lives all across Detroit, Michigan. I mean, the sister's been operating in the medical field for quite some time. So I know she's going to bring forth some information and have a story to tell as well. But this show this evening, you know, it's so much urgency and emphasis that has been placed on this particular show, because it's all about our youth. This is about our youth's perspective, because so many times, you know, the youth's opinions, their desires, their dreams, their hopes and goals, a lot of times it goes unheard because of all of the static and all the noise that the adults are making. They kind of get muffled out, and we don't really hear their side of the story. And we should be listening to their side of the story, because they are our future. I mean, our existence as a people depends upon how effective, how proficient, how equipped our youth are, how educated they are, and their directions. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that here today. And it just brings me an honor, and it just brings a joy to my heart to be able to introduce this core cadre of individuals that you see on this panel. And we're going to start with some brief introductions. We're going to start with Brother M. Brown Bay. You're going to go ahead and get us started, and then we're going to kind of go around in a round robin fashion. I believe everybody can see themselves on the screen, so you'll know who would be next. And if you can just introduce yourself, tell the listening audience a little way into the youth's perspective.
Real quick before we start, I can't see anybody else, so I wouldn't know the order. I can only see myself in the corner.
Okay. Well, you can actually change the view, you know, on the Zoom thing. You can actually click on it, and it should be something up in the right-hand corner where you can change the view. But I'll let you know when it's your time.
Okay.
All right.
Islam, Brother M. Brown Bay, and I'm 13 years old. I play sports, and I'm in the 8th grade, and I joined the temple at the age of, I believe, 1 or 2. I can't remember. And I got my nationality card at the age 3. So, yeah.
So I understand that you kickboxing and also baseball, correct?
Correct.
All right, good deal. And you said you said it like you joined. You can't hardly remember. I mean, I know it was like 40 years ago, you know, but it's all good. I'm so glad that you are here this evening, because there's so much that you could bring to the table with your focus. I've had conversations with you, and sometimes, you know, it surprises me that you are 13, because sometimes the conversations evolve into areas that a lot of adults can't, you know, kind of hold themselves at. But I'm glad that you're here this evening on the panel. Mrs. Reed?
Greetings, everyone. My name is Zaria, and I attend the University of Michigan, and I'm a freshman. I will be majoring in biochemistry, and minoring in genetics, ultimately to become a biochemist and clinical geneticist in the future.
Fantastic. Could you, I know it's not, proper to ask a young lady their age, but just for the edification of people who are watching, because we want them to be impacted. We want them to know exactly how old you are.
I am 19 years old.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you have a very bright future as it relates to the fields that you are going to be pursuing.
Thank you.
And we have Mrs. Jones.
Hello, everybody. My name is Babrielle Jones. I'm 20 years old and I study neuroscience and philosophy. I also am a strong advocate for self-care and self-awareness, as well as, just taking care of others that are around you.
Fantastic. 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 So glad to have you. So glad to have you here this evening, Mrs. Jones. And we have Joshua.
Salam Moors and greetings to all. I'm Brother Joshua Bell Bay. I'm 21 years old. I attend Howard University. I'm a graduating senior. I major in psychology, though my goal with psychology is to actually become a prominent actor. I did it to, understand human behaviors, human motivations, make my acting more genuine. But I ultimately want to use my platform to help my people. I consider myself a lifelong learner, interested in investments, real estate, and just providing value to others and being able to get value from others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that you're going to be acquainting the audience with your desire to help your people and what you really mean by that. And I'm sure you're going to have the opportunity today to kind of expound upon that. Now, we do have two sisters as well, but we're going to start with the first sister that I'm looking at here. That would be Sakina.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Sakina Eccles, and I am 23 years of age. I am a graduate of the University of Michigan, and I obtained my degree in organizational studies and also my master's in management. I am currently working as a credit underwriter in the mortgage industry, and I also do a bit of nonprofit work focused on workforce development, financial literacy, and homeownership. And I'm excited to be here today.
Absolutely. And we're glad to have you today. Definitely. And we're looking forward to you kind of highlighting a lot of the skills that you're utilizing right now with your degrees and what it is that you're currently doing. So thank you for being here this evening. We have Mr. Stockton.
Hey, I'm Christopher Stockton. I'm 19. Before last year, I was a student at the Michigan State University. I was a public and professional writing major and a business major before that. Now I've taken some time off to focus myself on entrepreneurship, home ownership, and, bettering myself mentally and physically. And, I'm very excited to be here today because this is what I want to do in my life. I want to be a part of podcasts, panels, stuff like this to just bring knowledge to the world, and when people don't have it too often. So I'm excited.
Okay. Well, I like that. I like how you think. Definitely like how you think, because I know when I first met Christopher, he gave me what would you call that? What would you call that? What would you call that, Christopher?
Well, I call it what it is. It was a paper for a writing class.
Okay.
It was I don't know. I would call it
a TOEFL.
No, not that. That's not a TOEFL.
That's not a TOEFL. Okay.
No, that's not one of them. But it's to the same effect, pretty much.
Okay. And it caused me to really think, and the thing was, I was thinking way past where I needed to be thinking, and then come to find out maybe he might, give us a little test on that today. But it's good to have people who have ingenuity, who have originality, who have creative skills and abilities that they've identified that they want to hone in on. And I take it that all of you have saw that within yourselves. And that's why you're pursuing that which you are pursuing now. We have Mrs. Eccles, Adriana. I got it right that time, didn't
You sure did.
I? All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adriana Eccles. I graduated from Western Michigan University with the bachelor's degree in geography, concentrating in urban and regional and environment planning, followed by a minor in entrepreneurship. My goal is to become a city planner to help influence decisions that will make a more sustainable future for our communities. I am originally from Detroit, Michigan, but now I reside in Oakland, California, working for Habitat for Humanity.
Fantastic, fantastic. How's the weather out there in Cali right now?
It is beautiful. No complaints over here.
Yeah, I'm so jealous right now. It is freezing in Detroit, as you probably already know.
I'm definitely used to that weather in the
Yeah.
past.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from my understanding, now, Christopher, that's your cousin, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, all right, all right. So, you know, the blood runs in the family. I got you, I got you, I got you. Now, last but not least, we have our young divine minister.
Islam and good afternoon, evening to everyone. My name is Brother Jordan Fuquay Bay. I am 21 years old. I attend Central State University pursuing my degree in business management. I'm currently in my 4th year right now, and I'm hoping to go back and get my master's degree in higher education and administration to continue to work with the youth. At school, I do something that we call student ambassadors and tour guides. And we are the ones who basically, if you're coming to visit the school, we're the first ones that you see to introduce you to the school and to kind of just let you know how everyday life is at our university. So yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
Okay, okay. Well, we definitely appreciate you, Jordan. I've only known you your entire life. And, you know, and I would have to say that, you know, you continue to, you know, make a brother proud. You know, when I see you, the different things that you're involved with, and, you know, your spirit and your fortitude, your mental fortitude, because, you know, it's, you know, sometimes it's hard for me, you know, being a minister, and I can only imagine that, you know, being a young minister and being accepted basically by your peers and things of that nature, because we do run into those particular blockades, because sometimes you're speaking things that are different from what the ear is accustomed to hearing. But when you have an ability to articulate it, and I've heard you speak in front of many audiences before, and I would have to say that your orator skills are getting better and better. And I mean, the fruit don't fall that far from the tree, you know, and I'm sure that you do your father proud when he's able to see his son doing the things that he's doing right now, as well as you too, Brother Bell Bay. You do your father proud as well, you know. So I know these gentlemen are very proud of their sons, as, you know, every parent should be proud when they're looking upon this panel right now, looking at their children, looking and listening to their children, because oftentimes, as I stated in the past, the issues that are currently taking place, a lot of these issues are adult issues. A lot of the causes and effects that we suffer from or progress from are adult issues, and we very rarely get an opportunity to hear the true, genuine expressions of our youth and what you guys have to say about that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm kind of deviate for a moment, allow our co-host, Imani, she's going to kind of set some things up and talk to the young ladies, because ladies are first, always. We always have to put our women out front, and we got to protect them at all costs. So without further ado, I'm gonna let Imani kind of delve into some information with the young ladies, but I do want to engage the audience as well. We're gonna have a segment for questions and answers. If you have specific questions that you want to address to any particular person that's on the panel, just include that when you ask your question, and we would make for certain that we ask it to them. But we're going to be getting into that probably in about another 30 minutes or so. The panel is going to ensue. This show is going to ensue for an hour and a half. And so we want to just jump right into it. So Imani, go ahead and take it away.
You know, I am so excited because I feel hopeful with this group tonight. I feel hopeful, and I feel like we're on the right track. And it always inspires me to have our young people leading the way. So ladies first. You know, the first important question that I'm dying to ask you all is, please share with me some of your challenges right now related to body image and just being who you are as a young woman. Do y'all want to take turns on who go first? Because I'm gonna call you out. You want me to call you out?
I can.
I can take this one first. So when it comes in terms of body image, I feel like women as a whole has a lot of pressure, or have a lot of pressure to be and look this certain way. So it can be difficult, you know, growing up as a little girl and you seeing all these different shapes and forms of what a woman could be. And it's like, oh, I want to be that. But then in high school, I'm supposed to be this way. But in college, I'm supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find your own identity and love who you are, to be like, okay, the shape and size and who I am today is acceptable because that's who I am.
Oh, very good. Thank you so much. Who's next? Okay, Sakina, you want me to call you out?
You don't got to call me out. I'll
Okay.
I mean, I definitely agree with everything Adriana said, as far as learning to accept yourself for who you are and where you are. In this day and age, I feel like there has been more media trying to put out that body positivity. I see that more in this day and age than when I was in high school, or that when I was in elementary school. Everyone had the perfect figure. You know, they say, what is it? The glass hour figure.
Yeah, hourglass.
Hourglass.
The hourglass that really is about not even an hour now. It's probably, you know, they're doing so many disruptions to their body that hourglass is probably not 3 minutes, because, you know, they're smashing their waist with the waist trainers, and now it's probably 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And people are spending like $30,000 to $50,000 on their body. And you can be putting that into, you know, your knowledge. You can be buying books. You can be wealth for your family. I just feel like it's a lot of unnecessary time and energy spent on focusing on something that's not that important, to be honest with you, because it's really about what's inside of you, your spirit, and, you know, just sharing that love with everyone that you encounter. And,
you know, I love hearing you say that. And I also am very excited that you identified that there's been a shift. Even we've watched it evolve, what is acceptable, because prior to, you would have never heard of a plus size model. They would be considered, you know, fat. You know, that's the word that they use, you know, these harsh words of, you know, huge, and just identifying and speaking so negatively of a woman who is not a certain size. Now, interestingly enough, if you take a look at where we are now, the money that they're spending, just like you said, is to look like this voluptuous woman, right? That before was not to be. So you hit the hammer on the head. I'm gonna go over to Bobrielle, which I love your name, Bobrielle. What are your thoughts about body image? You know, I like to hear from you guys, because I remember coming up and the big thing was making yourself throw up. You know what I'm saying? It just changes over the generation. So what are you feeling in barriers and things related to body image?
Well, I feel like everyone's body is their temple, as long as they find peace when they look in the mirror. If you recognize yourself and, you know, you're comfortable with who you are, then okay, I'm happy for you. That's all.
That's from the mouth of babes. That's it. It's just that simple, right? Cut and dry. Mm-hmm. That's how it should be. Why? Because we have not the right to judge anyone. You don't know their story. So I love that. And sometimes you don't even need to put no more icing on the cake when it's that profound and simple. Mm-hmm. Sister Zaria, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Talk to us about it. What about your thoughts? What are you seeing? What are you hearing, related to women and body image? It's so high level, it's talked about constantly. Oh my gosh.
Society has a lot to do with how you view yourself and other people. So many people are getting the surgery and everything like that, and people just want to find a quick way to look like another person you see on Instagram or whatever, like anything like that. I myself had to learn how to love my body and everything like that. It was a struggle because when you see someone who's, praised because they look better than you or anything like that, it just sort of makes you view yourself as less than they are. Now, like you said, there's plus size models and everything like that, which is very good because there's more than just one body type. And not everyone should look the same, and people have to realize there's not just one body type.
Yeah, and that's what makes us unique, right? Because
Yes.
we're all different, and we should be proud of who we are because we know to whom we belong. And so, in whatever your religion is, so that's your business. But in the masterpiece that the higher power is making, he didn't make any mistakes. So, adapting, and it's hard for females. Now, what's interesting, if we flip the script and ask the fellas, it's totally different. I watch men and boys and young men and how they move. You'll see a man, he don't care if he outside cutting the grass with no shirt on. He can have a gut everywhere. Who cares? He's living free. A woman is not allowed to do the same. And it's so unfortunate because there is so much sensitivity related to body image. And you just hit the statistic. You are the 1 out of the 4. You shared very transparent with us that you did have your own issues. So thank you so much for just sharing that with us and bringing that to light, because it is something that our young women deal with. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Crombe, I'll let you hit the young men up.
Well, the thing is, I had a little question that popped in just a second ago. And because, image does play a part. It plays a part with the men as well, because society has created for the populace at large what is acceptable image and what is not an acceptable image. And we know part of that psychology causes people to mistreat themselves. It happened when I was a child. I'm sure it's happening now, because now it's more apparent because it's laced with a lot of other innuendos, your sexuality and various other things. More things now today are trying acceptable, but in my day, it was not. So we have a gap in terms of years, but some experiences, call it the design of those who are manufacturing it, whose purpose it was for you to start to hate yourself. What one of the sisters expressed was initiating self-love. We need to learn how to love instead of to hate, because we've been taught by design how to hate ourselves. Now we must be taught by design again on how to love ourselves. And how do we do that in this social construct? How do we do that in the bands of society today when you got so many polarizing things coming at you, be it at work, be it in your home or on the streets? You have people who approach you in a different format. I see a lot of that. Sometimes the men disrespect the women, because of different things that they may dress, how they may dress. And then that response causes a friction, in between that man and that woman. When you see a young person out here, I mean, you got this yoga pants type of culture. You got people coming out, almost naked, in their clothing and attire. And that causes a certain type of sexual mindset. And it also causes lustful thinking on those who are gazing upon it. Okay. Like some of the young men, it happened in my day. And today it's just getting the layers of it. It has thickened. It actually has gotten pretty deep in terms of how that works. Now, I did have a question that popped up. Hold on one second. Wow, their questions are rolling in. We haven't even hit the topics yet. It says, what advice would you give younger girls, okay, on how to stay focused on self-love, growth, and education? And that one, I think, is being directed to Sakina.
Oh, wow, Sakina, that they went deep on you, and they did like a triple. They got a 3-part on you.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
She ready. She ready.
I believe it all comes down to self-love and knowing who you are. And in a sense, you do have to lean on those around you in order to, how can I say? In order to continuously practice that self-love and stay focused, you have to surround yourself with people with like-minded visions and goals. And in that sense, you keep your circle, a lot of people say you keep your circle small, but you do need to shape your circle into what you want to become as well. You need to have people around you that inspire you as well. And that you see them doing things better for themselves, loving themselves, studying. If you don't love yourself, nobody else will.
Absolutely.
And then you have to be that love to others. It's just the push and pull, push and pull. That's what I'll say.
Fantastic. I do appreciate that. We have another one for Mrs. Reed. What type of stuff do you do on a daily basis to stay focused on your goals?
I've always been the type to set high standards for myself. It's just a matter of maintaining that, and I just think of all the, how do I say it? I just think of all the, like, I would just let myself down knowing that I didn't try hard enough or do this or do that. I think about my goals every day, make sure I do that. That keeps me on track. Also, I just want to provide a better life for myself and others, and knowing that keeps me on track as well.
Absolutely. And I definitely support that 100%. Now, I just wanted to pivot just a tad bit. Jordan, I wanted to ask you this question that came in, okay? Because we're going to engage. I mean, it's not like the guys against the girls, but we can go there if you guys really want to, But what we want to do is we want to have an interactive style platform. Now, Jordan, do you think rap videos have an influence on the body image for women? Rap videos.
I would say yes, and I wouldn't even just leave it at rap videos. It's, everything that you see on TV.
Come on, Jordan. Come on, Jordan.
The things that you see on social media.
Yes.
Everything, they're putting out this image of how you should look, so they have like these different female rappers, and they have all of this work done to themselves, and not everyone wants to look like this person. Everyone wants to wear what this person is wearing or get their body in a certain type of way. So I definitely, like I said, I wouldn't even just limited to the rap music videos. It's everything that you see. You know, you can barely open up your social media account without seeing a woman in a different type of way. So definitely, yes, sir.
Definitely. I definitely like you peeling back the layers of the onion about that. And how does that make you feel, Barbary? How does that make you feel when you see that a lot of people judge people by their exterior? You know, so many people, unfortunately, judge people as to their success by maybe the kind of car they're driving or the watch that they're wearing, or we're talking about the materialistic things. How does that affect you in your process and what it is that you're trying to do? Does that affect you or does it not?
Honestly, I don't even get on social media, so most of those, images that people see online, I don't seek it. I don't pay attention to it. I stay in my lane and just follow my own journey. Yeah.
Now that is amazing. You know, that's pretty good. You know, because I was one of those guys years ago. I it took me a while to get a Facebook page. You know, I mean, but before the Facebook, was it MySpace? You remember that? Oh, you guys don't
No, they don't remember no MySpace, Mo.
I remember.
Let me stop. But yeah, absolutely. But Christopher Stockton, you know, you being young man, you're 19 years old, handsome fella. You know, when you look at women, okay, are you formulating the type of woman that is just by virtue of the fact of what she has on or things of that nature?
Well, my girlfriend might watch this at some point, so I don't want to comment. No, I'm kidding. No, I actually, that's something I had to realize for myself recently. Like January of last year, I deleted Snapchat and all my other social media because I realized the negatives of it, you know? Like I realized I would be on Snapchat for hours a day just looking at people. And I'm like, oh, she nice, she's not, and I'm like, it's such a toxic trait, for lack of a better word, I guess. It's just such a negative, I guess. And I realized like I'm judging these people off of a 5-second video I've seen, and like, why? And I realized it said something more about me than them, my judgments of everybody I saw, women and men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I look at him and I say, oh, he's stupid for what he's doing, or they like they're having fun, and I have no idea, about anything else going on besides what I see. So I just, I had to step back and realize just the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's good that you say that, being a young man and all, it's good that you say that. You kind of had to step back from it, because this social media has taken things to a totally different level. I mean, look at where we're at right now. I mean, we're communicating on a social platform. It's almost as if there's something on purpose being done to socially divide people from each other. I mean, Brother M. Brown Bey, Ali, how do you feel now? Because I mean, when you go to school now, I mean, are you on the platform in school, or are you still going to the physical building?
We are on Zoom actually.
How is that shift being relatable to you now? If you understand what I'm saying, I mean, how do you relate to that when that, because you're normally involved in sports and activities, kickboxing and things of that sort. I mean, can you still go do the kickboxing and the baseball, or you used to being around your peers, and with everything happening with this pandemic that has caused you now to shift to a different type of platform? I mean, how does that affect you now?
Well, it really don't, because, well, I usually keep my distance. So, and I take products that like I take black seed oil. It helps you cure things. So I take that every single day, and well, then I sanitize a lot before I go to any sports, because, well, I don't know if my other teammates are not sanitized, so I'll make sure I do it.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's all I can really think.
I got you, bro. I got you. The brother said he take black seed oil every day. Now, when we were coming up, it was castor oil. See, it was castor oil. Castor oil. If you had a headache, go get some castor oil. If your back is hurting, go get some castor oil. If your stomach was hurting, go get castor oil was the cure oil for everything that happened in our lives as youth. But it's good to hear that you say that you take a lot of self remedies, and you said also that it really didn't change you because you already kept a little distance in between you and others. Okay, you were just kind of involved in your sports and activities like that. But it's good to hear that you're saying that you sanitize. We do have to be health conscious, about what's going on, because if it's the boogeyman or not, I'd rather be shielded up just in case, but not to the point of extreme, Brother Bell Bay, Joshua, what would you think, with this pandemic and everything that's taking place? And then I'm gonna let Imani take it away and ask the brother some questions. What would you think, with this pandemic? Should people be alarmed? Are you afraid? How is this affecting you and your plight and your progress? This boogeyman thing with this pandemic.
Well, I don't believe that anybody should be alarmed. I do believe that everyone should be alert. Everyone should make sure that they are following the rules and procedures, protocols that have been guidelined by the CDC and people who actually know what they're talking about on the subject of the pandemic. But also, I believe, that it's really a time, this pandemic has really been a time for us to, slow down and really realize that it's Allah in control, and really, if we can, try to reflect on ourselves. We know Prophet Noah Jawali tells us reflection is the business of man. Really think about our lives up to this point. Think about how grateful we all are to still be here amongst the living on this planet, things made manifest. And so I don't think it's really anything to be like alarmed or like fearful of, but definitely something to be, aware of, and make sure that we're practicing the correct guidelines, and also make sure that if we're able to, we're utilizing this time to better ourselves and, practice that self-love and things of that nature.
Now, you said something early on. You said, I'm not alarmed, but we should be alert. And I thought you were going to pivot into something else by saying that, like what's happening now, like it's no surprise. Was that what you were saying?
Absolutely. There are no accidents. Law governs all events, and we knew this was going to come to pass anyway. So we should just be, like I said, utilizing this as a time to understand who's really in control. It's Allah in control, and we have to take that not with a grain of salt, but take that in stride, and use this time to better ourselves, to establish a foundation for plans for the future, things of that nature. I feel like it's a silver lining to everything, and there have been some good things that have come out of the pandemic, at least in my opinion. And I feel like if you really search, you know, perspective wise, everybody can find something within the pandemic that potentially got better or could have gotten better.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have two more questions, and I'm just going to ask this question, and I can forward the other one to you, Imani. But I'm going to ask this question, and anybody that chooses on the panel can address it, but maybe one of the panelists might have a different opinion than other panelists. This is a great opportunity to share in with your own creativity. How often do each of you dream of your future?
That's deep. Don't everybody jump at once.
I'll go.
Here come my girl coming in. Go ahead, Sakina. She coming in.
I dream of my future every day, just because the future, tomorrow is the future. So in order to plan for those that week out, a month out, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you always have to be thinking about your dreams and goals and manifesting those, whether that's writing them down, speaking them into existence, talking about them with your family and friends, and developing your dreams as you go. Because, you know, sometimes your dreams change, but every day I'm thinking about the future because I know that I want my future, my family's future, and my people's future, my community's future to be bright. So I have to move every day with purpose. So I think that every minute, every hour, every day, you have to think about your dreams, your goals.
Who else want to take a stab at that? Jordan, I think you want to take a stab at that. How often do you dream about your future?
That's actually, it's a good question. I say that because I think so many times we get caught up in living in the past so much. The things that we did in the past that can probably hinder us from moving forward, and not know that, you know, that we can do anything that we want to do. And it just reminds me of a story that I was taught, or I was told being younger. And he's a comedian right now, or actor. And basically, you know, in school, they were telling him, you know, like asking all the children, what did you want to be when you grow up? You know, and he's telling them, I want to be an actor. So he continued on the story and basically said that his teacher sent him home, told his parents, you know, his father looked at it like, you know, what's wrong with this? So let's write it down. And every morning before you get up and go to school, I want you to look at this note, because this is what you want to be. So from that, you start to learn how to do certain things. You start moving with the purpose. You know, every day, you don't have to feel like you have to accomplish your goal tomorrow. You take small steps every day to progress to your overall goal. You have to have the right people on your corner, because the same people, it's a lot of people that want to see you succeed, but it's a lot of people that want to see you fail as well. So you have to learn how to block out the people that want to see you fail. That way you don't have no negative energy really around you, but we know that negative energy can only make us stronger at the end of the day as well. So I definitely think that, you know, I always think about my dreams, my aspirations, things I want to do, and how I can get there. You know, what can I do today that's going to help me with my overall goal? Or what people can I encounter today? It's about building relationships as well. You know, just because you never know who may be able to help you as you're trying to progress in your life.
I want to hear from Bobrielle on this one. You know, she has such simple answers to the point that are so impactful. I want to hear, how often do you dream about your future?
I honestly do not dream about my future. I'm very present, and I make it that way because I want to ensure that I can continue to be living and being who I want to be, you know, in every living moment, through every mood that I feel. So instead of dreaming about it, I just do it, I guess.
You probably can help a lot of us adults with this.
Yeah, you do not have to dream, because everybody's capable, even you, me, you know.
Oh. Well, what I'm supposed to say to that? Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't gotta thank me. That's the truth. Absolutely. That's the truth.
Share how often they dream about their future before we move on, and what that might look like. I know that's a tough question. It is a tough question. Well, let's just jump into our next question. Do you all And I cannot wait to hear your answers. Do you all think that the internet has brought us more together or more apart in the grand scheme of our existence as humans? Now, who want to take the lead on this one? Let's see what, Brother Christopher, you've been awfully quiet. Yeah, I just called you out.
I like to just observe.
Okay, well, right now I want you to observe and answer this question.
Okay.
Do you think the internet has brought us more together or apart in the grand scheme of our existence as humans?
I think like a lot of big questions like that, there's no real yes or no. It's not as black and white as it's brought us more apart or it's brought us more together, you know? In a lot of ways, we wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have the internet. You know, we wouldn't be able to be exchanging these opinions and beliefs if we didn't have the internet. But at the same time, of course, there's the pushing us apart aspects, you know, politics, stuff like that, especially with everything going on right now, that's kind of like made more extreme because of the internet. So I don't think there's really a simple answer or a way to really go about answering that.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Anybody else want to chime in? Zaria. I almost said Zahira. I'm thinking about something else. I'm sorry. I want it to be Zahira, but it's Zaria. Zaria, what do you dream about? How often do you dream about your future? See, I slipped that one back in on you because I do want to know what you dream about, but I want you to answer the internet question, but I care about how often you dream about your future. Just answer that for me right quick, and then we'll go to the internet one.
Okay. I'd say a lot because I just always want to be in a better situation. And that's how I thrive every day. Just think about that and then makes me work harder. Because if you want it, you can get it.
You know, I've heard y'all are saying that this evening with conviction, and how blessed are we to hear it coming from our youth. Not answer the other one for me. What do you think the internet has done to us? Has it brought us together or further apart in our existence as human beings?
One, we're more aware of what each other is doing and how each other is doing it. But I feel like, I don't know, I've seen more negatives from social media. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
No, that's okay. You know what it is it has its benefits and it has its disadvantages, right? That's what it. So you don't often find people with a happy median in social media, the internet. It's either all or nothing, kinda. So it really has transformed life as we once knew it. What we do worry about is that human connection piece, right? Because as humans, science tells us, not me making this up, science tells us, and Brother Bill Bay should be able to definitely speak up on this part. Science tells us that the human connection is vital for us. So you wonder what the internet has done to us. You really do. Brother Crumbe?
Well, just listening, the internet can be a tool for education as well as miseducation, because most of what we see and hear on the internet is just a platform that allows people's thoughts, opinions, business ideas, and what may have you to be able to be formatted in a sequence that others can visually view it or take part in it or engage in it. We can look at it both in good and evil. Whatever can do good can also do harm. It depends upon the individual intentions. behind it. Now, if none of you have been affected in a negative way by it, not being absorbed in it, or where you're just totally engrossed in it, where you cannot even have a basic social life via all of the technical devices that we use today. Case in point, I used to see people, and I still do, I used to see people that would be sitting right next to each other, texting each other, as opposed to engaging in conversation. They call these devices smart, but I think they dummy down the original abilities and skill sets of human beings. That's my opinion. I don't think that because as I recall, as a child, if I were to ask any one of you, if you lost your phone, how many numbers do you really have committed to memory that you can call? I mean, a lot of people don't even know their own phone numbers. They don't know their mother's phone numbers, their brother's phone numbers. But I remember as a child, we had to know everybody's phone number because we didn't have a device that locked it in. We just didn't have phone books in our pocket. Okay. We had to remember my auntie's phone number, my cousin's phone number, my friend's phone. I probably had at the age of 9 or 10 or 12 years old, 300 or 400 phone numbers committed to memory because we knew that. That's a part of our mindset that today is going without any attention. So our creative attributes, oftentimes, the way I look at it, gets lost in technology. Now, a lot of you guys may differ from my point, of view as it relates to that, because you're growing up in a society that embraces it. This is what it is that you guys know. And this is why this panel is so important, because I don't profess to know it all. Wisdom comes out of the mouth of babes if we can clear out our ears, because we're still hearing all the noise around us. We got to hear what it is that you guys are saying. But what I am experiencing here is a lot of young people who are not being infected by it. We're keeping our own originality. We're living in our now moments. Education is playing a huge part in all of our lives. I mean, education, as I understand it from listening to a lot of you guys' bios, education is important to you, and you're going to utilize that education as a platform to catapult you into your future, into your now, and often what I'm hearing is having that ability to gain that education and knowledge to be a source or a resource to the community at large. In California, you said you're in the Habitat for Humanity. You're doing different things right now, helping others. And a lot of us are aspiring to do things of like minds, but we have to be prepared, and we can't be infected or poisoned by the things we see, these technical advances and things of that sort. So I would like to kind of ask, as it relates to other core issues, because you got a lot of self-hate, you got a lot of bullying, you got a lot of, I don't know if any of your friends have used drugs or went through some trauma in life and things of this sort, or relationships, how you guys feel about relationships and having children early on. I mean, what are your views on that? About life in and of itself, people that suffer pain, how do they overcome that pain? Oftentimes, a lot of our youth, they don't talk to the parents, I mean, is your relationship good with your mothers and fathers, your parents, and what type of scenarios do you guys work in together? Because family is vitally important, especially when it comes to our families, because a lot of times, and then I'm gonna shut up, a lot of times you would have, is everybody on the panel in a two-parent household? Okay. All
No.
right. So I grew up in a two-parent household. My father, he passed away when I was very young. I was like 12, now, and I know that it's vitally important, especially in our communities, to have mother and father, but when you have babies, having babies, oftentimes juggernauts of information are not passed on. It's as if the parent wants to be your friend and not really your parent. How do you guys feel about those statements I just made? Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I want to hear from whoever wants to jump in here and engage.
I feel codependence is unhealthy, or interdependence when a parent depends on their child.
You say it's unhealthy?
Stress and trauma.
You say it's unhealthy?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay.
What do you mean by interdependence? Like when a parent depends on their child? I don't understand what you mean by that.
Oh, you'll definitely learn it as you get older. Trust me. I'm in the middle of this. Right now is what they like to call like the sandwich phenomenon, right? I have teenage children, but then I have an elderly mother. So it's like I am caring for both, so there is an interdependence because now I am like the mother to my own mother. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense.
Now,
I think.
Go ahead.
I think that you made a good point, Brother Crumbe, as far as to how a lot of parents, especially like a lot of younger parents, they want to be more friends with their children than to teach them. Because I mean, I have both of my parents are older in age, but some of the things that you see from now, like you see children cussing their parents out, children telling their parents what they want and what not want to do. That was things that I couldn't even think about doing growing up. And I definitely feel as though it's just all the way that you're raised. It's certain conversations. I mean, it's certain conversations that I wouldn't mind having with my father. Certain conversations I wouldn't mind having with my mother. But then there's certain things that sometimes just you may not feel as comfortable. I think that a lot of the times it's hard for youth to speak to their parents because of, you worry about what they're going to say, worry about them being disappointed or worried about getting in trouble. So a lot of the times you're either holding those type of things in or you try to find other outlets to release your anger because you feel as though you have no one to speak to. And I mean, you see it all the time. A lot of parents, they overreact to things that you may think are small. Instead of educating or teaching at that time, you just get discipline. One of those things, like I said, growing up, I got a lot of discipline, but I had a lot of lessons behind my discipline as well. It wasn't just about, getting a whooping here and there. It was about, okay, learning from your mistakes. What did you do wrong so you won't do this again? So it's all about, like kind of that connection that you have with your parents and just being able to have that transparency with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else like to jump on that?
I can add a little bit to that. So I grew up, my dad did pass away at a younger age. So my mom, she was kind of pretty much both parents. And my mom had thing was, I'm not your friend, I'm your mother, kind of thing. And she acted as such. So kind of how you talked about early on about like relationships and communities that you built or relationships that you built within communities. I have a big family. It's a total of 7 of us as far as siblings. So
wow.
You end up having that relationship or that friendship with your family or your brothers or your sisters or your cousin to establish the conversations that you might not necessarily have for your parent or your mother, because my mom was my parent, and like I said, she acted as such. So I leaned on my siblings to have those conversations that I might not necessarily have with my mother. And then kind of in terms of take like the child taking care of the parent. For me, I think that for me, I grew up where that's what you're supposed to do. It gets to a point where like your parents taking care of you all your life, you know, and then it gets to a point where they are now the ones who need that taken care of. So I'm kind of opposed in a sense to say that like, I love the fact that now I'm in a place where I can take care and help my mom.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, you know, as we should, you know, because once a man, twice a child. You know, when our parents start to get older, and I came back because I stayed out in California for about 3.5 years. I came back to Michigan about a little over a year ago to look after my mom, who's 88 years old. And I mean, her mind is sharp, you know, just her legs give her problems. But, you know, just being here with my mom, I'm learning a lot. But, you know, it's like you're returning back to lift them up. And so now she stays with me. So, you know, that's our duty to want to support them, you know, but I see so many of our youth, like as indicated earlier by someone on the panel, so many of our youth are very disrespectful to adults. You know, they mouth off, they talk back, they're cussing them out, they're having fits, you know, and a lot of the discipline that we used to cast down upon our children, now the parents in turn get in trouble for that. It's almost like we're being policed when we're trying to police our own children. You know, what we used, I mean, you know, what's now known as child abuse today was when I was coming up, it was just a good old fashioned butt whooping. You follow what I'm talking about? We used to get, you know, our heinies taken care of, and it didn't matter where you at. If you acted up in a grocery store, guess what? You're going to get it right there in the grocery store. But today, if somebody saw you giving it to your child in a grocery store, next thing you know, you're getting arrested and carted off to jail. I've actually seen the nerve of some children call themselves divorcing their parents. I mean, have any of you guys heard about stuff like that? You know, you got to have respect for your elders. You know, it says, honor thy mothers and thy fathers, that thy days may be longer upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah have given thee. So if we honor them, our days are lengthened. By honoring them, that's not just being good, but honoring them is doing the things that are necessary, like you guys are doing. You know, you're lengthening the days of excellence for us as a people on planet Earth by getting your education, being an entrepreneur, being a writer, being an actor, okay, being a professional baseball player, okay, doing the things that you know that you are equipped to do. You leave a legacy behind, because eventually some of you are going to have children as well. And if your years were not corrective years for your behavior, then how would you in turn raise another in your image and after your likeness? You follow me?
I just want to that conversation. I like to think of it as we speaking from almost a perfect scenario. Whereas this is my parent. They raised me, they took care of me. This is who I need to respect and, you know, look up to. So when they're older, I take care of them. And I think that's kind of looking at it from a perfect perspective. Now, my mom and both of my fathers, biological and stepfather, are amazing people. They have my utmost respect. But some of the people I've known and met growing up, just, I don't know them personally, but just the stories. I'm like, I don't blame you for not respecting the person who birthed you. Because just because you're a parent don't mean, it doesn't make you wise. It doesn't make you a perfect person. It just means that you had a child. And just like we said earlier, you know, it's children raising children, kind of sometimes. So I feel like that can play a part too. Definitely not to go against anything y'all said. I definitely agree with everything. I just think it's important to look at all the different possibilities and situations that could be going on deeper than just the surface, you know?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you highlighted that, because there is a lot of rejection to that parent because of abuse. It can be verbal, it can be sexual. I mean, a lot of our youth, they experience molestation, rape by someone close to them, maybe even their own father or their own mother, an uncle, an auntie, a brother, a sister, a cousin, or a friend, or another adult. Sometimes our youth goes through traumatic experiences that leave scars so deep that when they grow up, they become a social problem, or they find the outlet with drugs or hanging out with the wrong crowd because of the pain that they're endured from someone who was supposed to protect them. It's a give and take. If parents, you can biologically, have a child, but that doesn't make you a father. That doesn't make you a mother. Okay. You can be a father and a mother, but being a good father, being a good man, being a good mother, being a good woman, all of those characteristics play a part, because what that does, that helps to shape and mold you and how you reflect yourself. You said something very key. You said, my mother and both of my fathers have been instrumental in helping to shape you into the, brilliant young man that you are today, with all this potential to be a class A writer, philosopher, have all these different things going on, these different ideas. That's a good thing because you've had that support. What we want to do is be able to share this out to the other teenagers that you may know personally who may be going through something. Okay. We got to let them know that, hey, it's a brighter day for you if you have the desire to reach out and go there, Now, I got another question that I want to pose. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody all right?
Good.
All right.
Good.
All right. All right. Ali, you okay over there?
Great.
Great. All right. Ali is a man of very little words, but I tell you what, you get in that kickboxing ring with him, he just turned into a whole nother person on you. Now it says social media embraces weed smoking and drinking for the youth. What do you guys on the panel think about that?
No, I can't wait to hear their thoughts on this one.
False.
I'll take this question.
False.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's false. A lot of teenagers or childs, I haven't seen not one teenager or child that I know just randomly just come up and smoke weed. But I'm not sure if that really happens, but coming from my point of view, I never saw that. So to me, that's false.
Okay. So I mean, the children, in your bracket, none of your friends are out there smoking weed and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, and I don't see a lot of people that's 13 years old on social media smoking weed either. But I do see a lot of people 19, 20, 23, 21 smoking weed. I mean, I got nephews, I got children. I mean, I see them drinking and doing other things, and they're condoning a way of life. I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, how should I re-ask the question?
If you
No,
can.
Social media
You can go.
embraces weed smoking and drinking for the youth. What do you guys think about that?
I'm
Go ahead,
of
Bill Bang.
I'm of the belief that, not even of the belief, on your social media, individuals can choose to follow people or look at content that they want to look at. So specifically speaking for myself, I follow content about investments, stock market, real estate. Those are the things that I want to see. I want to feed positivity to my mind. I want to, even if I'm on social media, I want to be able to vibrate on somewhat of a higher frequency. Or I want to be able to go to a platform that I can learn about something. So while maybe, I'm not gonna say maybe, sure, there are, you know, people out there who smoke weed, who drink, but in the same token, you know, you can choose to unfollow those people, or if that's not what you agree with, you don't have to identify with that at all. And you can make the choice to put positive things on your timeline or on your page and support positive things, you know, or if you see something, you don't have to be quiet, you know, you can say something about drug usage. I have friends, you know, who may have used drugs, and I told them that I don't necessarily believe that, you know, what they are prescribing to is correct. And however they judge me after that, I was willing to take it, but they wanted to listen to me. They chose to listen to me, and they, you know, understand that habits are quality of life. And so if you have a habit of wanting to look at negative things on your timeline, then you'll probably be in a negative state of mind. So you don't have to choose that for yourself. You know, you don't have to pay attention to that. You can feed your mind better things. That's my take on it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Yeah, so, and I definitely second what Brother Bill had said. I think it's more of an encouragement on social media. It's kind of like a trend. I don't think that because people smoke weed on social media, other people wants to do it. I think it's just the environment in which they are. And as far as being encouraged in school, that they see their friends do it and they make, you know, and it's like, okay, well, it's okay for me to do it or try it. I think it's more of the environment that they're currently in that can encourage that behavior. And then social media kind of hypes it up in a sense, and it becomes more of a trend where you see other people who might post things and think that that's okay. But I don't think that social media is the cause of the reason why people do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like to thank you for that as well. And Brother Bell Bay, you did say something that was key. You know, you said that, you know what, I like to spend my time, you know, to you be your way, to me be mine. People, like you said, can choose what areas of social media they want to delve into. If they want to be a part of that particular crowd, then they can just go ahead and just start liking that stuff. And then the algorithm is going to send that type of stuff to you. But like you stated, you say, well, I choose to be, you know, about my business. You know, all of you guys on this panels have aspirations to be successful, you know, to be givers and not necessarily receivers. You're looking to be entrepreneurs. You're talking about stock market and investments. Other people are talking about becoming neuroscientists and biochemists and all of this kind of stuff. I mean, that is phenomenal stuff, you know, that's phenomenal. Go ahead, Imani. You got to unmute yourself. Okay.
Yeah, how would you all say that you stay financially conscious? Especially because you're so young. And I remember being your age, and yeah, I wasn't the greatest at it. How do you prepare yourself to stay financially conscious and aware?
I think it's one of those things that it took me a while because I had some real bad spending habits at one point. It was being in school, didn't really have a lot of responsibilities when I was staying on campus, but you know, it was like, all right, I want to go buy these new clothes, I want to do X, Y, and Z. But now that I'm getting a little older, and I have to pay my own bills, you start seeing the importance of kind of managing your money right. Some of the things that you think that you need, you realize that you really don't need those things because you have other things that you have to focus on. So I think that it comes down to a point of staying focused, you know, starting to think about what you want to do in your life. I think of that with a lot of youth, we don't think ahead. So, you know, we don't put a little money aside, you know, for a rainy day. We don't think about, you know, a lot of people, just like when this pandemic happened, you know, a lot of people didn't have money put up. A lot of youth didn't have money put away because they weren't expecting. You're used to a constant check, but you know what happens when that flow of money stopped coming in, and you know you don't have anything. So then you start thinking of ways that you need to start saving, putting away. You know, you might take $25 out your check and put it somewhere where you can't touch it, and next thing you know, your $25 are steady building up when it comes a rainy day for you. So I think that is definitely just about noticing your responsibilities, and you know, just wanting better for yourself. You know, if you ever been broke, you know that it's not a thing that you don't want to kind of go back to. So you would do the right things to prepare yourself. It's like proper preparation. So you want to prepare yourself right when it comes to those things as well.
Mm-hmm.
What is the feedback from the rest of the group? Let's talk about that. That is so important. And I just want you all to be able to, just enlighten us a little bit on what you think you can do to stay financially conscious. Let me just share with you that it is not shocking, or it should not be shocking to you. The majority of individuals in the United States live paycheck to paycheck. The majority do not go by the recommendation that you should have 6 months of your salary put up, including myself, right? Because life is there. So what are you doing? Do you have any strategies or tactics that you're applying to stay financially conscious? I gotta hear from my girl, because I know she got something so simple and profound to say. Gabrielle, tell us, what are you doing?
Well, honestly, when I get off work, I go home. I do not go out. I do not eat fast food. I just save, and I make sure that I'm trying to pull in multiple sources of income.
Okay, multiple streams. Okay. Chris, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good. I think for me, the most important thing is like keeping my eyes open. And when I say that, I mean just like seeing the things around me and learning from other people. Because I can't say, I came from a rough upbringing or we had the lights off. I didn't know that. But again, just from the people around me and paying attention to the stories, my mom told me, my dad told me, like, there was times when we didn't eat. And I'm like, that's something I never wanted to experience. So keeping that in the back of my head has always like kept me on track. The times when people was going out, I wanted to go out, and I realized like, I don't really, I'm not there right now. I don't have the money for the newest J's or the newest iPhone. I don't have it. So I'm not gonna do it just to pretend that I can, because I know what that comes with, not personally, but just from paying attention and listening.
Oh, the great pretenders. Oh, that's so good, because a Rolex still tells the same time as a Timex. And the employee who works at McDonald's, money is still the same color as the executive at Chrysler. So that's that's a very wise thought for someone your age to have that approach. It really, really is. Anybody else?
I think that you should
stop. The 13-year-old. Come on with it. I know it's good.
Think that you should stop buying things that you really don't need, because you spending money on stuff that you don't need and is making you broke. And like, if you need stuff for your health and you go out and buy things that are not for your health, you're just spending money on stuff that you really don't need to help you. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Any of our other panelists would like to provide some feedback about staying financially conscious?
Yeah, I'll chime in. I do believe that the driving force behind, staying focused and on your finances and being financially stable is your responsibility and the goals that you have set for yourself. I know another one of our panelists was talking about having an emergency fund, when your car breaks down, or when, a family member calls out to you and, is asking for help. You want to be that responsible figure in your family or in your network that can do that. And it does have a great feeling, or you have a great feeling being able to do that. And I believe that looking at examples of our elders, a lot of people work 9 to 5 and they work for years, 20, 30 years to build up their retirement fund. And, there are other ways to build up that same amount of money but you can start at a younger age. You can do an IRA. You can do a Roth. You can have a business like Barbarielle was saying, have multiple streams of income. So you can have another business. There's a lot of things that you can focus on in order to save up so you can set yourself up for the future. I just believe that, some of those ways the youth can utilize is social media. There's a lot of different pages out on the internet sharing tips and tricks for saving money, maybe saving $1 a day and increasing that. We're just having a group of friends or families have a saving challenge or something of that sort. Those are a few ways you can practice it.
Yeah.
I like the point that she really touched on, because that was one of the things of how I start kind of controlling myself with my spending habits. I've been collecting singles for about, I'll probably say maybe about 4 months now. So I know anytime I come in the house and I have like some loose singles, I just put them away. And, you just watch those kind of things build up. I can also remember like growing up and everything that usually comes, it starts from how you're raised. It was times where parents were giving their children allowances, for washing dishes, for taking out the trash. So, and then, now you hear the stories because a lot of families have kind of pushed away from that, because they're basically saying, I'm not going to pay you for your responsibilities, things that you're supposed to do. It's not that at all. It's teaching the children how to properly work to earn money, and also how to save your money. You look at it like, I don't even see children having piggy banks now. Those were things that you would just put change, walk around the house, putting change in the piggy banks, just different things like that. Those are things that carry on with you as you get older, so we have to be, as adults, have to be careful of the things that they're doing around their children, because those are habits that they pick up on. I mean, at a young age, my mom is taking me to the bank with her when she's writing checks or making deposits and things like that. So I'm seeing how to do these certain things. And that's what I believe every family should be teaching their children, how to save, even if it's anything but $1 for taking the trash out, at least you're getting something and showing them how to earn, literally work for what you want to earn an honest living while saving that up. You want something, all right, let's work to get it. What are you going to do around the house? And I'm going to pay you this amount of money so you can buy it on your own. That makes a child really feel good about themselves, that they were able to purchase something that they want with their own money. And then that's what makes individuals independent, as far as, if you have children that just ask their parents for anything and they just giving it to them without, a sense of work, your grades are not good in school, but you still getting what you want. What's your motivation there? What's the point of me wanting to do good if my parents are still going to reward me for just doing what I have been doing, which is nothing. So I definitely think it's all about how that you're raised and the things that you're around when you're younger as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do have to let the panel know that Imani, she had to get off the call because she has another stream of income that she has to attend to, as you guys were so eloquently putting it forth. But it's good to hear what you all are saying. Multiple streams of income. I heard that echoed a couple of times. And financial literacy is vitally important. We need to understand how to pass on generational wealth. We need to understand the value of $1. We need to understand how currency is going to shift. We can see how everything is becoming digitalized. We can see the cryptocurrency starting to take spikes and increase. We also know that the prophet said that, there are going to come times where you're going to see, a $20 bill blowing down the street and you won't even bend over to stoop to pick it up because it won't have any value. And it's always good when we have parents that take the initiative to take pride in teaching their children financial literacy. And it sounds to me that everybody on this panel has been educated to some degree as it relates to that, because I'm hearing different buzzwords. I'm hearing IRAs and Roths and different things like that. So I know I'm hearing stock market. I'm hearing, financial terms that only are equated with someone who's been doing a little research. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's topics like that that we can hone in on and have just specific topics. Because see, this youth perspective platform is going to be ongoing. Okay. And so each month we're going to feature and have a topic of discussion that we can all kind of hone in on, be it relationships, be it a religion, be it national identity, whatever it might be, politics. Because I think all of us are pretty proficient in those areas and do have something that we can contribute to that particular conversation. Now, I wanted to ask another question, unless somebody else wanted to chime in on the topic that we were just buzzing around. Zaria, did you have something on that?
No.
Okay.
I did. I had something on that.
Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead.
I appreciate it and concur with everything that everybody was saying. And I really was kind of listening to Jordan in terms of, well, I read this book, right? I read a lot of books, avid reader. It was called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And it talked about how your parents really play a key role in how the child spends money. So your financial blueprint as a child is essentially what your parents was. So I like to talk to my parents about money. Maybe sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but those are the types of conversations we have to have. And also in terms of generational wealth, I think we have to get outside of equating time to money. I like to say that time is currency, but not necessarily money. And you can spend it, like you can spend your time watching Netflix, or you can invest your time learning about, how to establish a foundation that will build money. So that could be putting your money in the S&P 500, which historically returns 10%, every year. But I know that Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, probably greatest investor of all time, he said, you can never be rich if your money can't work for you while you sleep. So you have to find a way, even if you work in a job, a 9 to 5 or something like that, to be more aware, like everybody's been saying, of where your money is going and how you can live below your means. So that way you can, when you do save money, it's not enough to just save the money. Then you have to put it in an investment, so whether that be like I said, the S&P 500, an index fund, which is a conglomerate of stocks that will work for you, or a REIT, which is a real estate investment trust where they're required to pay 90% of the profits to their investors, things like that you can park your money in and you can have it work for you. Even Bitcoin right now, as we're getting more and more away from paper money and getting into cryptocurrency, you can park your money in certain, even though that's a bit more risky, but you can park your money there and allow it to accumulate, and that's just my 2 cents on it. But definitely utilizing all your resources as well. YouTube University is great. Plenty of books out there where you can just pull the knowledge, and having an abundance mindset, because it's not enough to just for you to know the information. Once you get the information, it's each one teach one. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day, but teach him how to fish, feed him for a lifetime. So it's about us being able to share what we learn with others, and then coming together and building on it, because 2 heads is better than 1, and the more heads, the better, obviously.
Absolutely. Now, I love to hear what you were just saying. So I do know for a fact, most times than many, most people have to shift their paradigm when it comes to financial literacy. It doesn't sound to me that everybody on this platform is looking for a job. And job to me is an acronym that stands for just over broke. Okay. People here sounds to me that you're looking to create your own industry, set your own pathway. You're not wasting your time, doing things that are unbecoming, doing things that are not putting food on the table for yourself, or building a future for yourself and those that you care and love. You're not necessarily exchanging your hours for dollars. I call that the 40-40 plan. You work 40 hours a week, for 40 years, and you retire on half of what you were broke on your whole entire life. And I do understand that being broke is a mindset. See, we have to shift our paradigm in terms of how we think. And it sounds to me that the excellence of this youthful panel here, all of you are thinking way above the bar. You're not allowing society to structure you, but in fact, you look at yourself as the one that's going to take it and structure it according to your bidding, and that's always a good thing. I know that Bell Bay's gonna be I'm gonna be talking to you, my brother, because I'm already doing some things right now in crypto, in crowdfunding and various other things that are yielding phenomenal returns. So I'm gonna be giving you a call later on, because that's what it's all about, learning how to network with each other. We all have skills and abilities and mindsets that we need to learn how to bring them together and find out what other benefits we can be of to each other. Now, I do want to kind of highlight this book. This book was written by a young lady by the name of Sharice Brannon. And what this book basically talks about, it's called All Odds Against Us. This is a book, and you guys can find it on Amazon. It's about $20. I would suggest every youth needs to read this book, because the focus and intentions of this book is for the youth to realize and believe that no matter what your situation is or where you come from, with determination, you can overcome any obstacle and be whatever your heart and mind desires. It's a good read. And I think that we should be reading more books like this. Definitely pick this one up, young brothers and sisters. It would give you some insight about how you can overcome hurdles and obstacles and still, bust right through into your now, because you got a reason to be in your now. So I did want to ask, one other question, then we're going to bring it to a close. And then I want to get some takeaways from each and every one of you, about what you guys got out of this whole ordeal. But, some of the brothers on the panel that you see with the Fez is on, they're members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But some of you may be affiliated with other spiritual, religious organizations. How does your teachings or your spiritual mythology take part in your journeys that you're experiencing in your life, and that mental fortitude that you've garnered from that spiritual experience? Is it shaping and directing your course to virtue? And if so, how? And then different things that it may affect. And anybody can jump on. I'll just go ahead and, since Zaria, what would you say? I mean, some of us may have a spiritual foundation, not necessarily, it doesn't matter, whatever people look at their form of spiritual release or mental fortitude. That's what I'm talking about, the principles that you exact in your life. Zaria, what would you say about that? How does it keep you?
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
No, go ahead. I think I said enough.
What was the question?
Oh, the question is, with the spiritual construct that you're involved with, how does your relationship with God, or whatever it is that you call as your higher power, even if you have one, how does that kind of, those teachings, help you in your current living conditions in the world right now?
That's a good one. Might have to come back to me on that one.
Okay. Well, would you say that you're a religious person or no?
No.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Go next.
Go ahead.
For me, I would say religion has definitely shaped me to the woman I am today. I feel like from religion, I've gained my morals and what I believe to be true. And I definitely would say that it carried me out to the woman that I am today, as far as the things that I value and the things that I look to accomplish in the future.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. And what would your religion be?
So I was raised up on two religions, Christianity and Islam. My dad was Christian and my mom was Muslim.
Okay. Well, she was in the nation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you got a nice balance there. And you said that helped to shape and mold you into the person you are today. And who are you today?
Ooh, that's a question right there.
Hey, you said it.
I'm a community driven person. So I am here to solely give back to the community and share my experience with others.
Okay. For the uplift and the fall of humanity, because that's what it's all about. We don't live in this world by ourselves. We're all bound by cords to every other living thing. And so it's a beautiful thing when you have care and concern about others, to be able to succor those in need. That's a beautiful thing, sister. So I wish you well on everything that you're doing. Sakina, what would you have to say about that? Same question. Nothing changed. Same question.
Okay, I'll have to piggyback off of Adriana, because that is my cousin, and we both were raised in the nation growing up.
I thought y'all were sisters. I don't know why. I thought y'all was sisters. Y'all cousins. Okay.
Yeah, cousins. Yeah, my dad is her mother's brother. So
okay, I got
their siblings. But yeah, I definitely believe that my religion has had a strong foundation on who I am today. Definitely giving me the key morals I need to live in this life and be a light to others and to myself. So I'm able to, connect with others, being able to see them for who they are without judgment, and just being able to look within myself as well and reflect. I believe that's a big part of, of religion, is being able to look at yourself, step outside of yourself, and be able to understand yourself. So I definitely believe religion has had a large impact on my life. It's interesting growing up around a lot of people that are Christians, though, and getting their perspective as well. And you notice that we aren't that different in a sense. We all have the same morals to love. I feel like that's the base of every religion. So I do appreciate it.
Definitely.
That's what I have to say.
Well, you said a mouthful, and I like to thank you. I like to thank you for that. Barbara, what you got for us?
As far as religion, I'm really not that religious, even though I grew up Christian. I do make an effort to practice my virtues every day. I religiously do sun salutations every morning. I do my yoga, simply just thanking God and the earth and nature.
That's beautiful. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, you're in constant contact, So you said that you kind of had your experience with Christianity. You said you kind of grew up in the church kind of a little bit, but you kind of, as you got older, you kind of moved away from that. Was there a certain reason that caused you to move away from a structured type of faith or religion?
I was simply just on my own journey that was different from my family and my parents and grandparents. So it just kind of fell how it did.
And and that's a good thing. That's a good thing sometimes, to be different, which means that you're not going to fall into the same class as everyone else. Everyone else might say, hey, 99% of the people raise their hand and vote this way. But you're that 1% that says, no, I'm going that way. And it's nothing wrong with that. However, do you know that a lot of people, a lot of youth are beat down into submission to submit to the whims of how everybody else thinks, the so-called majority, because in a certain type of democracy or society, majority are supposed to rule. I don't support that all the time, because it could be that 1%. It could be Christopher, that one person in the room that says, no, I think this way on it. But when it all boils down to the truth of the matter, who knows? 99% of the people could be wrong. So it's nothing wrong with having that freedom of expression, my sister. Now, Christopher, what would you say in terms of your spiritual fortitude or religion or what may have you? If you gathered anything from those experiences, how do you relate to those things now? How are they functioning in your life in this world today?
I was raised in the church. My mom was a Christian, is a Christian. So from that, I was in the church, but I would never really identify it. I didn't feel like it was me. So as I got older, I realized to myself that I'm not a religious or even really spiritual person. But I will say, after taking philosophy in college, it kind of opened my mind that religion or God or not, it's about the message. It's about the knowledge and the learning that comes from it. So now I make it a point to study all religions. I've researched countless religions just to see how people interpret the world and their lives and the universe and God or whatever, and I just say I don't go to religion for religion aspect, more of so for an enlightenment aspect, if that makes sense. So it's definitely helped to shape a lot of my views and beliefs, from Christianity to Islam to everything.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And I like to thank you for that. It's always good to have that spin on things. And you mentioned that you weren't spiritual.
No.
So let me ask you a question. And this is not a challenge, but so would you say that you are physical or spirit being? Which one would you be? Would you be a spirit or would you be just flesh and bone? What
Both.
animates you, Christopher?
Both. And in a conversation like this, I would always go more philosophical, which I try to avoid it. But one of the biggest schools of philosophy came from the saying cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And it led to a lot of beliefs of what can I really know? And part of that, it split the body into two different aspects of being, basically the mind and the body. So I feel like we're both. I'm spiritual, meaning, of course, I have a spirit. There's something inside of me animating me. And of course, I'm also flesh and blood. So like I said earlier, there's no black or white to it. I'm not spirit or physical. I'm both. But in my life, I found that the spirit is just a lot harder to understand and a lot more. I'm only 19. People 3 times my age are to this day still struggling to understand the spirituality of life. So that's not something that I really invest too much of my time into. I'm not discrediting it, or I definitely recognize it. It's just not something I've invested myself into as of now.
I got you, young brother. I got you. And, I do appreciate that. And I wasn't trying to challenge you on that one. I know you're 19, but, you're evolved at 19. And it's good that you quote what you just quoted. Not many people at 19 are even reading books. And it's good that you guys take it upon yourself to do so. But man is the truth and falsehood. strangely mixed, so thank you for that. Now, Brother Brown Bay, you are a member of the Moore Science Temple of America. I mean, and in today's world, how does the prophet teachings impact your life? How does it keep you on purpose?
His teachings keep me from doing bad things. So, and also, it's teaching me to be grateful and love my father and mother more, because without them, I wouldn't be here right now. So, and
Don't think so hard.
oh no, that's
thinking hard.
That's a very tough question.
Yeah, well, you know what? Don't let it be tough for you. You said it. You said a mouthful right there. Hey, look, it's helping you to learn how to weigh the differences between good and evil, and not to subscribe to evil, and you give all kudos to your parents for that guidance. And I thank you for that. Brother Bell Bay, you heard the question. What we got?
Well, I first just want to say I give praise to Allah, honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali for providing us with the Moore Science Temple of America. And I also give honors to my parents as well for allowing me to be birthed into the Moore Science Temple of America. I would say the biggest thing, or at least one of the biggest things that the lessons have provided for me is understanding, every day that I'm blessed to wake up and grace the plan of things made manifest, that we don't have to toil and we don't have to work all our lives and wait to be accepted into the pearly gates of heaven, or have to find out that we're going to hell. We've been taught that heaven and hell is a state of mind. And so if we are able to take control of ourselves, as the prophet says, if man will find his savior, he must look within. If we can, get that internal locus of control intact and be able to vibrate on a higher frequency, we can be in heaven right here on earth, and if we allow ourselves to slip, as we all slip, we all get into the funk as we are humans. As you said, man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Sometimes we might be in hell, but we are always able to get ourselves out of it. Thought is the cause of it all, so we can think ourselves out of tough situations. And so that has really been a profound support system for me, along with my parents being a profound support system for me, knowing that if I find myself, down the wrong road, it's never too late to turn around, and put something on the credit side of life. And also, I believe that the lessons have, in a very good way, made me a skeptical human being, or somebody who doesn't just take everything that they're given at face value. It's allowed me to be a strong-minded individual. And it's ironic that you were talking about daring to be different, but I can dare to be different. I don't have to follow everything that my friends are doing if I don't believe that it, agrees or is conducive to my lifestyle and who I want to be as a man. As Jesus said, man may believe what others say, but thus he never knows. If man would know, he must be himself what he knows. So I'm able to go out, on my own and learn about things and do the research on things in order to be a better man and provide value to this world.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank you for that, Young Sheik, for demonstrating that and upholding that truth. And we're going to hear last from our young divine minister, Brother Fuquay Bay.
Islam. Being a part of the Moore Science Temple of America, it has been a great influence on my life. And I say that because it gave me principles. It gave me something to stand for. They say if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So my religion has taught me, one, how to be upright, independent, and fearless, meaning that, anything that I want to do, I can do it. It's all about, just like Brother Belbay said, it's all about the thought first. If you want to do something, it's about thinking about how you're going to make that happen. How are you going to make yourself better? I also think of it as I thank my religion for allowing me to show me that it's okay to be different. You know, growing up, I've been in the Morris Science Temple of America my whole life. So, you know, growing up, it wasn't as easy for me, to be honest, because, you know, when you're around different people in school, so you have, you know, like I know, like when I was in grammar school, they did like little Halloween parties where everyone would come in costumes and march around the classroom. Those are things that I couldn't participate in. So it make you feel like an outcast in a sense. But as I started getting older, you start to appreciate that, you know, it's okay to be different. Everyone is not going to always look at you the same. It taught me definitely how to have tougher skin, you know. And once again, just as far as just teaching me how to love myself, you know, and by me loving myself, I learned how to deal with other people's in the bands of society. You know, that's one of the best things that you could do when you know how to deal with people through patience. I mean, I can go on and just talk about a lot of the different things about that my religion has provided, but I would definitely say it's that sense of light, that sense of guidance. You know, the support system that I have within the Morris Science Temple of America has taken me to the point that I'm at now, and to continue to push me. And that's why, if you don't mind, I just want to spin off, because it was a great idea for us to have all the youth come together. And from that, we want to continue this. You know, we want to continue having like-minded discussions like this where we connect together. So I believe it's actually in the link or in the bottom comments. The sister told me that she was going to share it down there, but I have a link which you can go add your name and add your email. And what we're going to do every other Wednesday, starting on, let me go here really quick. This will be starting on Wednesday, the 20th. And we're going to go at 7 p.m. Central Time, Eastern Time, and 6 p.m. Central Time. And what we're going to do, this is a dialogue strictly for the youth, for us to come together where it's not any adults present. And like I said before, I know how it is kind of trying to talk about your feelings or talk about, you know, what's going on in your life when you have adults around, people your parents' age. You know, sometimes you get frightened and get choked up and don't want to be able to express everything. But we are providing an outlet for children, because it's a very hard time right now. It's a very hard time being youth, and with everything that you're seeing going on within society right now, from protests to riots and everything like that. You know, it's very hard being a young person in society, and not having different ways to cope. So we're opening up like almost like a counseling session for us to come, maybe for like an hour and a half, come together collectively, talk about different things. We're going to have different speakers to come on and talk about some of those things of like financial literacy, how to manage your money, how to become a better speaker, like a public speaker. So it's definitely a great thing. It's going to be all over social media once we get the flyer and everything made up. But it's going to be, like I said, a call that we're going to do, a private call on Zoom. So it's not going to be air live or anything, but it's going to be on Zoom strictly for the youth, for us to come together, dialogue, and build. Because I mean, you know, the youth is our future. Like they say, the children are our future. So we have to teach them well, and we have to come together and collaborate our minds and our thoughts together to dare to do wondrous things. You know, when we all can be all on one accord, you know, like your plan may be something, you may have something in your mind that can help me in the plan of development in which I'm going through. So it's about us learning from each other and building. So that's something that I'm very excited for. And I would encourage everyone, if you have the opportunities, every other Wednesday, like I said, starting on January 20th, we're going to be doing these calls, like these little counseling sessions, for everyone to come on. You know, it doesn't matter about your religion, doesn't matter about your background. You know, together we are the youth, and together we must stand together to show how strong we possibly are, or how strong we really are at the end of the day. So thank you for that, Brother Kirkman.
Well, thank you, young minister. And I'm sure that everybody on this panel, I have everybody's contact information. So you just circulate the info to me. I can make for certain I send it out to everybody, unless you just want to blast it on out. But what I want to do is summarize, get everything all summed up, because we went a little bit over, but it's okay. We went a little bit over, but I thought it was needed. you know, and just listening to everything that I heard here tonight just lets me know that we got the proper ingredients for an entree, you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to have different series, you know, of these youth's perspective. And I would love to have each and every one of you guys come back on the panel at a later date, you know, to expound upon different things. And that way we can get more specific about certain topics, you know, hot topics or what may have you. We'll pick the topics. We'll already have them kind of, you know, locked in, and then we'll be able to expound upon them with a lot more depth, you know. So what I wanted to do was kind of go around, get you guys takeaways, you know, what really, you know, hit home for you guys here today, or what are you looking forward to doing? And I'm gonna start with Zaria, and I'm gonna go on around, and we'll call it a day.
I think my iPad's probably going to shut off any second now.
Well, you
But
better hurry up then.
I
Better
to
go
say,
quick.
it was a pleasure being here today. It's just nice to be a part of a group of individuals who have the same drive as I do and actually want to do something with their life. It's an honor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Barbariel?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation tonight and also look forward to it. What really hit home for me is when Christopher said, I think, therefore I am, quoting. And that's just a good mindset, or that's a good way to think about your mindset.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Christopher?
I enjoyed it. It definitely lived up to my expectations. Just from our conversations, I had high hopes. I definitely wasn't disappointed. So I look forward to the next time.
Oh yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even peeled back the layers of this onion, my friend.
Oh yeah.
There's many layers to this. Every round goes higher and higher. Brother M. Brown Bay, Ali, what was your takeaway? What did you get out of this today?
All I just gotta say is that I learned a lot. It was fun, and yeah, hope to be on here again.
Absolutely. And we looking forward to having you to come back on again. I mean, you know, Ali, we love you, brother. You know, yeah, you may be the youngest on the panel. That's all right. You know, but guess what? You brought some depth here today. You know, you said some things that were very lofty. So you did well, young brother. You did well. And Adriana, what was your takeaway?
I want to start by saying, like, thank you for giving us a platform where our voices can be heard and we can express ourselves. I would say that from this whole, topic and the different topics that we went through, that I gather just living your truth and you'll be okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I so look forward to having you all back as guests, again, panelists, going forward in the future, and that's a great idea you got, Jordan. I'm behind you 100%. So, whatever I can do to help support your cause and getting that thing going for the youth, just let me know. But yeah, thank you, Adriana, for gracing us with your presence and your expertise, your skills and all of that, because you definitely have something that you can bring to the table, and different sources of information that you can aid in providing that type of educational platform for individuals going forward. So there's a multitude of things we can do. Now, Sakina, what you got for us? What was your biggest takeaway?
I really want to thank you for the opportunity for having all of us on here, to share our perspectives. And that's one of the biggest things that I want to take away from this, is that everyone does have a different perspective, and you can take something from each perspective and learn something new. And I'm excited to read the book that you shared with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to pick that up. All Odds Against Us. And it's by Sharice Brannon, and that's spelled Sharese, Brannon, Branhan. It's on Amazon. It's only about $20, but you definitely want to pick it up, guys. And also another one that you want to pick up. You probably got this one, Bell Bay. Powernomics by Dr. My man. See there? He already on top of it. But y'all need to get this one here. Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. You want to get that. It lays out things because, see, my platform is geared around socioeconomics, but you definitely want to pick this piece up, and you definitely want to pick that up.
Most definitely.
But you were saying before I
yeah.
jumped in there and got all excited.
No, I'm super excited about the next book too. My dad is an avid reader, so he's going to be super excited about those too.
Oh,
but yeah, I just appreciate, having the opportunity to think about these things and bringing them home, having household conversations about it with my little sister, little brother, my older siblings, and just my family in general. I feel like this was an opportunity for me to express it with you all, and now I can do the same with, close-knit family. So I do appreciate it.
Well, thank you, sister. I do appreciate you as well. Brother Fuquay Bay, you kind of gave us a nutshell, but go ahead. What was your biggest takeaway tonight, Mo?
My biggest takeaway, once again, I want to thank you because I feel like a lot of the times, not necessarily calling you an elder, but up there in age, but a lot of the elders don't really take the time out to hear what we have to say sometimes, and that to some youth that can be very discouraging. But I really appreciate the platform for allowing us to come on and express who we are freely. And I mean, from the biggest takeaway is that, one of the panelists said before, you see a lot of like-minded individuals that have that same type of drive. A lot of the times you may think that you are alone, that you're the only one in this age range that wants to make a difference. But as you see tonight, you have 6 or 7 more people, and that's just what we have today, that are really willing to make a change. So we have to come together, put all of our thoughts together, and then just see what we can possibly do from anything, because it really starts here. So thank you, Brother Crumback.
Thank you, young minister. Christopher, did I get you?
Yeah, I spoke.
Okay. Yeah, because we didn't get a chance to get that philosophy piece up out of you, but I'm gonna get you. Now, brother Bell Bay, what was your biggest takeaway, my brother?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to the team for allowing me the opportunity and allowing all of us to have a voice and bring awareness to the youth. My biggest takeaway was probably the social engagement. I feel like during the pandemic, that social aspect, the ability to connect with others, as we were talking about, it's kind of been lacking. So for us to be able to get on a call and, fellowship, provide intelligent and valuable communication was very important to me, I feel like. So I'm very thankful for that. It's truly a blessing. I look forward to the future engagements.
Oh, absolutely. I look forward to it as well. And I like, again, to thank you all for taking out the time, just for a couple of hours on the All CNI. It was just great to be able to host this type of platform. We look forward to featuring more where we can, recommend good books to read, different things to do, good investments, how to build that portfolio, because in order to pass on generational wealth, then you got to educate people about that. So that's what we're looking to do as well. So plug into my show, every 2 weeks on Monday, because we're always got something plugging in, something good. You can find some good adult content that you can use and find applicable in your everyday situations and circumstances right now. Okay. And again, thank you all, and thank the listening audience. Definitely, you guys want to tune in Wednesday. We're going to be having Universal Love, hosted by Brother and Sister Adams Bay, a great couple, and they're going to have some great guests on their show. I don't know exactly who they are, but they're going to have some great guests on their show, And then Thursday, you want to tune in to Real Talk, Girl Talk, Morse Talk. We have Sister S. Johnson Ill, as well as Sister N. Greer Ill, that host that show. And they're going to have a nice panel discussion. And, you know, they definitely might be reaching out to some of you sisters, because we kind of talk to some of the same people a little bit. So, and we do these shows every 2 weeks. And again, Brother Jordan Fuquay Bear is going to be hosting his podcast on the 20th of January. Tune into that. Christopher, I know he's thinking about getting his podcast going, and we definitely want to tune into that. So we want to stay abreast of each other. Let's not make this a one-time event. Let's keep the party going, as they say. Okay. So again, I'd like to thank you all. And then on Friday, we have on the More Science Temple of America call our National Grand Sheik, Brother R. Jones Bay. That's on at 7:30. And then I believe on Sunday, it's Sunday school as well at 2:00. So again, thank you all. Thank the listening audience. I know we had a ton of more questions that we didn't get to. And we actually went 2 hours. We went 30 minutes over. And I do appreciate everything that you guys brought to the table. What I'm taking away is, you know, feeling fortified, feeling empowered from everything that you guys said. And I just have to say, man, this is a job well done. And kudos to your parents. They did a phenomenal job with you guys, man. Phenomenal job. And, you know, I just only look to hear of the different things that you guys are triumphing over, the different business ventures that you're doing and engaging with, and not allowing yourself to relinquish or subscribe to something that is foreign to your construct and how you think. May the blessings of God, Allah, be upon each and every one of you. And I say peace.
Peace.